Welcome back. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how I go about bringing in that model, the baking model, how I will bake the high poly onto that low poly, and then I will texture it onto the game mesh. So the first thing you do when you open up your substance painter is go just to New, so File, New, and select your file. So I'm going to actually, I'm going to first just bring up my low poly just to show you what we have here. So this will be our end product that we want textured. And as you can see, bringing up the wireframe here. So we have the same model that we exported out. You can see all of our kind of hard edges. And in fact, let's see, I'm going to just take a real quick screenshot of this. Okay. Let's bring this up here. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to so now I'm actually going to open up I just wanted to have that as an example so you can see what it looks like prior to baking and then after baking. So you can just start another new file here. We're going to this time instead of selecting the low poly, we're going to select our soda machine bake. So I'm going to select that. And now you'll see this kind of really exploded, version. So what we want to do here is we want to bake all the high poly information onto this low poly version. So the way we go about doing that is going into our texture set settings and under mesh maps, so we'll be a little bit down, it'll say bake mesh maps. So bake that. We're going to make the output size the same, so 2K textures. And now here's the important part here. We want to now select our high definition mesh. So I'm just going to select this little file here and then pick my soda machine HP. And so now that is loaded in there, so now it knows that's going to be our high poly version. So the max distance, front distance, and rear distance, that's going to tell how far it should project out, how far it project either way to gather the data. So for the starters, I'm going to leave it the default, and then I'll adjust it as need be. I'm going to turn on my anti-aliasing. I want to match by mesh name, and then the low poly should be _LP, high poly _HP, and by default this actually will say _low and _high. Just adjust that. Okay, now if I go to my ID, it may say in the older versions it says vertex color by default, but make sure you change that to material color. So what's going to happen here is now it will actually, when you go to ID map, it's going to take those colors that we assigned earlier from that material in the high poly, and it will use that for masking. So you'll see that in just a moment. So I'm just going to go ahead and bake all mesh maps here. In a moment you'll see the material map has been made, and I'll show you what that's looking like. Okay. So now you'll see we have all our maps over here. So we have our thickness, our position, ambient occlusion, curvature, world normal space, and then normal. And then here's our ID map. I'll actually bring that up right now for you so that you can see. So as you can see here, let's see, you can kind of see the little thumbnail. We have kind of little pockets of colors, and that's going to be later on used to pick different materials for masking. Our normal map here, you can see kind of the some of the normals have been baked in, and now I'm going to, just for this to show you the difference, I'm going to go ahead and go to edit, project configuration. So what can happen now is, now that it has all that information, oops, I accidentally looks like I accidentally painted onto my, there you go. So if I go to edit, project configuration, I can actually put in a new mesh there, and as long as my UVs are identical, which they are because I didn't change anything, it will still keep its same UV or same maps. So we'll select low poly, hit OK, and now you'll see we have these mesh baked on there. So now if I were to, let's see, I'm bringing this up a little bit. So I'm actually gonna do a little side by side. So now you can see. Here's our model after we baked it, and here's before we baked it. So you can see we have a hard edge there. You can kind of see just this is not as smooth. Just some of this looks a little bit more choppy, whereas this, you can see it's a nice smooth edge there. This is smoother, and we have that harder edge we wanted right there. And so it's just, with the baking maps, we are projecting on this higher poly version. So as you can see there, we have all of our maps made up like so. Okay. So we have our vents there, just baked in, our little bolts baked in there. If you look at our bottle, we have our little ridges for the lid baked in. And so in this video, I will also just go ahead and discuss, kind of, I guess I'll do in a different video, but so what we're going to be doing next in these next videos, we're going to start to texture this. And what I'll probably do is I'm probably going to show you maybe how to texture something using one technique. I'll stop it, show you in the next video another technique, and kind of go about it that way. I'm not going to show you the whole entire model, how I modeled the whole thing. That'd be time consuming and probably not very interesting either. So what I'll do here is I'm going to stop this video. In the next video, we will continue on a few kind of short segments of some different techniques. So.